Klaus Schwab is in a panic. The man who told us privacy is obsolete just found a listening device in his own home. And he knows exactly what they have on him. Paedophilia, blackmail, blood rituals. His files expose a whole host of elite names, including his close friend King Charles at Schwab's table, eating human flesh, drinking child's blood, enjoying it like a plate of steak and a glass of Malbec. Now Schwab is running to the Geneva police like a scared rat, demanding special privileges, demanding protection from the baying mob. But it's not going to save him, because the spies aren't outsiders, they're family. The children of WEF founders and senior executives have turned on their elders. Their leaks already forced Schwab out as WEF chairman last year, but they're not content with destroying his career. They say with evidence like this, Klaus and King Charles must spend the rest of their lives in a cage.
I trust the necessary preparations have been made for the orphans. Discretion is key.
Yes, of course.
And now we lay out the case for the prosecution, the smoking gun, eyewitness testimony, the evidence that locks these two paedophiles away for good. Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join the People's Voice Locals community to join our incredible community, support the channel, and gain access to exclusive and uncensored content. This is the People's Voice, and tonight, we present the case for the prosecution. Let's start with the headline the mainstream media is physically incapable of printing. Earlier this week, Klaus Schwab, the long-term puppet master of the globalist elite, filed a formal complaint with Swiss authorities. He says he's being spied on. He says he found a listening device, a bug, in his lakeside Geneva estate. And you know what, Klaus? For once in your miserable life, you're absolutely correct.
WEF founder Klaus Schwab says he found a hidden listening device in his home. A security sweep of the Davos founder's Geneva home office turned up a covert bug, adding espionage to a bruising 2 years. Schwab has now filed a criminal complaint with the Geneva authorities. He doesn't like being listened to. Meanwhile, members of the WEF, which he founded, have been openly discussing technology to hack your brain, read your thoughts, and even monitor them while you're at work.
It's one rule for thee and another for me. That's always been the elite's motto. They've been hunting children for centuries. Not out of sickness, out of ritual, out of birthright. And Charles has been placed at the scene of various crimes by witnesses prepared to testify against him, including as a guest on Epstein Island. Footage captured by John McAfee shortly before his suspicious death blows Charles's role in the Epstein cover-up wide open.
Location was Epstein's Island, Little St. James. Late evening, dense canopy, firelight flickering through the trees. But the most chilling part wasn't the setting. It was the people. At the center stood Charles, masked and robed, leading what can only be described as a ritual. He wore elaborately carved animal mask, boar or stag maybe, and an exaggerated wooden phallus strapped ceremonially to his body. It wasn't hidden. It was the focal point. He moved with authority. This was no guest. He was presiding. Around him, others danced and mimicked ancient rites, chanting in languages I couldn't identify, possibly Enochian or some dead dialect. Young victims, naked, restrained, or sedated, were paraded and positioned as part of the performance. It culminated with the selection of one, smaller, motionless, clearly drugged, placed in a wooden effigy and set alight. This will create a trust in governments, media, intelligence networks, and justice systems around the world. The illusion of control. So yeah, they're scrambling, and they should be, because once this footage drops, it's game over.
Here's the twist they don't want you to see. The spies who penetrated Klaus's house aren't the deep state. They aren't Russian assets. They aren't even Israeli cyber intelligence. They are the sons of the WEF's own co-founders. The children of senior executives who were disgusted with the globalist agenda of Klaus and his cronies, and disgusted with the elite's stomach-churning satanic rituals, including ritual sacrifice and paedophilia. Pascal Najadi, the WEF co-founder's son, is calling for Schwab's arrest as we speak.
Everything evil in the world related to demo side unfortunately comes from Geneva. You have WHO. Then you have the WEF, the World Economic Forum, which my father was a co-founder and left Klaus Schwab out of disgust in the early 80s, that has diplomatic immunity. I, as a Swiss citizen, right here now, declare that the WEF is not eligible anymore for diplomatic immunity. I call on the Swiss authorities and security to arrest those people immediately.
And King Charles? He's implicated up to his crown. But first, just quickly, if you're paying for a major VPN, cancel right now. Proton is compromised. ExpressVPN, CyberGhost, PIA, they're all owned by one Tel Aviv-linked company with ties to Israeli military intelligence. VP.net is different. Zero-knowledge cryptography, open source, no backdoors. They literally can't see your activity even if subpoenaed. Check it out at vp.net/TPV. Don't make the same mistake as Klaus. Don't allow anybody to use your private activity against you. Now, back to Charles, who's in serious trouble right now, because the people are waking up. Everywhere he goes, people are demanding to know how many children he molested on Epstein Island.
Oh my God, Susie, get in there.
Let's look at the evidence they don't want you to connect. Who was the very first public figure to champion the Great Reset? It wasn't a politician. It was King Charles. He gave the inaugural speech. We were told it was an honour. Now we know it was a blood oath. History is going to rewrite the narrative of the House of Windsor. According to our sources inside the operation, Andrew's crimes are child's play in comparison to Charles. Charles is the true monster. He doesn't just claim the throne, he traces his lineage back to the very root of evil. He proudly tracks his ancestry to Vlad the Impaler, Dracula himself, the man who impaled thousands, who drank the blood of his enemies and their children.
King Charles, he's on record as saying that his genealogies that he has goes back to Vlad the Impaler.
Dracula.
Dracula, the person that's used for Dracula, which is a Scythian ghost warrior. And Nephilim drank blood, and they have serpentine teeth with this Dracula-type individual. He is actually a noble Scythian, a noble Celt.
So do you believe that these people, like these kings or these princes and stuff over in Europe, they believe that they're these descendants. They believe that at least they're saying it publicly. Do you believe that it's true? Do you have any reason to believe that it's true?
I think it makes sense.
Okay.
I'll go back to the important thing to remember. They believe it. Mm-hmm. And it's what they do with their belief system that we need to understand.
But it goes deeper. Those of you who've studied the forbidden history of the elite bloodlines know that the Windsor line doesn't just trace back to Dracula. They trace back further, to the antediluvian era, to the Nephilim, the fallen ones, the hybrids. Charles believes he's not just a king, but a direct descendant of these giant hybrid beings. He believes it's his birthright to rule over the lesser humans, to consume human flesh and drink fresh child's blood as though it's a plate of steak and a glass of Malbec. It's no wonder Charles was providing royal security for Jeffrey Epstein. Because the royal family isn't a monarchy, it's a genetic hierarchy, rooted in ancient occultism. And when you hear about the gruesome occult rituals involving unwanted young male offspring from Epstein's infamous baby farm, when you hear what Charles did to those children, you'll understand why the World Economic Forum White Hats will not rest until he's caged for life. We have those details, but first an important word from our sponsor. Think the healthiest thing in your pantry right now is some overpriced superfood? Wrong. It's actually olive oil. Yeah, that bottle you've got sitting in your cupboard isn't just for cooking, it's a weapon to help you look and feel younger inside and out. No big pharma potions, just nature's real deal. Dr. Stephen Gundry, a rogue surgeon who's done with the system, says high-quality olive oil is a game changer. The problem is the industry is a cesspool. Nearly all brands in stores are watered-down junk, pushed for profit, not your health. Dr. Gundry has had enough. He's exposing the real truth about olive oil with a free video for viewers of this channel. He'll show you how to spot the real stuff that works wonders for your body with just a few tablespoons. This isn't hype. It's the truth they don't want you to know about. Visit getolive1.com/TPV, the link's below. I've watched his free video and the information blew me away. If you're genuinely interested in changing your life with olive oil, go to getolive1.com/TPV now. You won't regret it. The White Hats are moving. They have the footage. They have the data. Their goal is to dismantle the WEF, throw Klaus Schwab into a prison cell, and strip the crown from Charles. Pascal Najadi said it best. The elite's house of cards only requires one card to fall, and that card is about to be pulled.
If you have a house of cards, and this is a house of cards of a criminal, one card pulled by justice and the whole card house collapses.
They believe that when they're finished, Schwab will be exposed as one of the most prolific blackmailers and predators in history. When this happens, the world will realise he was hiding in plain sight all along. Here he is, boasting about how deeply his network of compromised paedophiles have infiltrated the world's institutions.
We have, if I look at our stakeholders, we have business, of course, as a very important audience, and we have politics, we have continuous partnerships with many governments around the world. And of course, we have NGOs, we have trade unions, we have all those different parts. Media, of course. Media, of course, and very important experts and scientists and academia.
And we even have, you even have religious leaders, right?
We have religious leaders, we have social entrepreneurs, very important social entrepreneurs.
These men didn't just commit crimes against children, they committed crimes against God himself, targeting the innocent, the pure. And where did they gather to perform these rituals? Exclusive private estates across Europe, hidden from the world, guarded by security, protected by royal connections. Witnesses have placed Charles at these gatherings multiple times.
The children, there must have been a dozen of them, were young, no older than 10. Their faces were pale, their eyes wide with terror. Some clutched each other, trembling, while others sobbed silently. The game began with a horn, its eerie sound echoing through the forest. The children were told to run. At first they hesitated, confused, until one of the masked figures barked an order, and they scattered into the woods like frightened deer. The royals took their time, some laughing as they armed themselves with bows, spears, and even crossbows. It was surreal, watching these people, revered as symbols of dignity and leadership, transform into hunters, reveling in the thrill of the chase. I'll never forget the screams. They started faintly, distant cries that grew louder as the hunters closed in. One by one they were caught, and when the game was over there was silence, an oppressive, unnatural silence. The children were never seen again.
It gets worse for Charles. The Epstein files confirmed what victims alleged for years. Jeffrey Epstein ran baby farms and plotted to seed humanity with his bloodline by impregnating underage girls at his New Mexico ranch. Now, survivors are stepping forward with an even darker revelation. Epstein systematically killed many of the male infants born from these horrors, and he invited King Charles to join him in the murders. Emails from 2011 show that Epstein commissioned a $2,000 reproduction of the Massacre of the Innocents. The Renaissance painting depicts the biblical massacre of all male children in Bethlehem under age 2. One of Epstein's assistants wrote in an email, "It's the large 9x9 canvas that we had rolled out for him to see in the entryway where they are killing babies." Epstein and King Charles were killing baby boys, while the baby girls were kept alive to experience even greater horrors. Let that sink in. These are critical times. Here at The People's Voice, we're determined to expose the elites and hold them to account before it's too late. Before the files disappear, before the witnesses vanish, before the House of Cards is rebuilt. The truth isn't just information, it's liberation. It's the light piercing through the darkness they've wrapped around this world. And the darkness is terrifying. That's why they're panicking. That's why Schwab is running to the police. That's why they're scrambling to contain what's already out there. But we're not stopping. We need you. The masses need to wake up. And that starts with you sharing this episode, subscribing to this channel, and joining the People's Voice Locals community. Together we fight. Together we awaken. Together we hold them accountable. This isn't just a show, it's a movement.